Hello everyone and welcome back to my Bold and Beautiful 29 YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Finn charge Grace. The explanation will lead to the good croaker facing another moral dilemma. Finn has been digging for information about Liam's miraculous procedure. The croaker knows that commodity is veritably out. The fact that Grace wouldn't be forthcoming is just making Finn indeed more suspicious. Also, he went to examine the case's injuries. That's when Finn realized the lacerations were way too small to be from excrescence birth. Finn went to look at Liam's medical records. Still, they were deleted. One call to IT and they will know Grace deleted those medical records. Grace might deny knowing what Finn is talking about. Still, the manly MD will keep pushing. Due to being so stressed out formerly, Grace likely blurts out the verity. From Grace's phone call with the riddle person, it sounds like Paris and Zoe are being hovered. The girls don't feel to be apprehensive they're in peril, moreover. Ridge is in a race to stop Nick from proposing to Brooke. Nick and Brooke will get started on their Italian adventure. Brooke lies on top of a zooming motorboat. Also, the written spoilers state that Ridge has to come to her deliverance. Until that moment, anticipate to see Ridge contending through Naples trying to stop Nick and Brooke. Brooke will still be on the hedge about the two men in her life. While her head knows Nick is better for her, her heart just wouldn't stop beating for Ridge. Lee continued to tend to a slow Luna. Sheila could start her own disquisition. Liam medical records are deleted. Meanwhile, someone keeps draining Grace and her daughters. At the root, Ridge tries to talk to Brooke. The developer admits he wasn't veritably nice to her and it's his fault. Ridge will always love her. The Golden feels the same way. Is that each he has to say to her? As Ridge keeps apologizing, Nick shows up. The shipman reminds Brooke that they've plans. As they walk out, Ridge scowls. Nick and Brooke tromp the thoroughfares. When they get to the boat, Nick asks if she's ready for an adventure. At the hostel room, Eric tries to find Ridge, but he's gone. Donna calls to see how everything is going. The primogenitor tells her that Nick has an engagement ring for Brooke. Donna pleads with him to find Ridge right now. Ridge enters and informs his father that he apologized but Brooke still left with Nick. Eric is shocked that Ridge let them leave. At Bill's house, Finn arrives to check on Liam. The publishing Napoleon gushes about Grace pulling off a phenomenon. Finn asks if Grace has mentioned physical remedy. The croaker no way mentioned it. Bill reasons it's another phenomenon. Finn has questions and this procedure could change how they treat cancer. Still, he's no way heard of it. Bill thinks they were lucky. Liam remarks that he's glad he's better, indeed if he was a lab rat. It'd only bring Bill $1 million. When Finn hears this, he's rattled. Bill isn't sure who the plutocrat went to, he just demanded to save Liam. They bandy Reese's conduct and how it was to pay off a gambling debt. Finn exits and Bill lectures his son about recovering duly. Over at the sanitarium, Grace yells at someone on the phone. Aha! My proposition was right, her daughters are involved ever. Grace orders the person on the phone to no way come near her or her daughters again. Grace calls Paris who's in France with Thomas. Also, she deletes Liam's medical record. Doesn't she want to call her other son, Zoe Buckingham? I guess not. Finn goes to his own office and makes some phone calls about Liam's medical lines. They've suddenly dissolved. The croaker also goes to Grace's office. The man tells his co-worker about Bill paying to save Liam's life. What's going on? Lee is hiding the body. She has Luna locked down in a secret apartment. Luna is still alive. This plot feels veritably eerily analogous to the time when Lee hid Finn's body when he was assumed dead. Like the former one, we've a feeling this plot will come a slow burn. Lee hid Finn to keep him out of Sheila's grip. Now, she's storing Luna down in a bitsy apartment. This was the same woman who wanted nothing to do with Luna when she first came to city. In fact, she advised her about getting involved with the Foresters. Lee also wanted nothing to do with Luna when she came a cold thoroughbred killer. But now, she's had an unforeseen change of heart. She believes that she can nurse Luna back to health and a good parenting. Her main focus is for Luna to wake up and to be her old tone again. Vengeance is on Lee's mind. No, she doesn't want to get vengeance on Luna. She wants to stick it to her family, Poppy. Lee still blames Poppy for the way that Luna has turned out. In her mind, she thinks she could be the mama figure and guiding influence in Luna's life. Luna could escape jail and change for the better. Of course, this idea will boomerang, especially if Finn finds out. He's formally onto his mama about her hiatus from work. Steffi wouldn't be pleased to find out that Luna is still alive and that Lee wants to rehabilitate her both physically and mentally. Lee is intentionally destroying her son's marriage. But in her mind, she wants to get back at her family for causing her so important pain. Once Luna is new and advanced, Lee can vapor to her family about how she's the better mama. But this will beget further heartbreak and family drama than it's worth. Grace's concession stunning Finn before Liam and Hope hear the verity. Plus, Ridge makes a splashy save in the Mediterranean as he races to stop Nick from proposing to Brooke. Vital moments for Taylor and Ridge. Taylor feels auspicious about their relationship, but she might only be trying to tell herself that. Meanwhile, Ridge is running around Rome, trying to find Brooke. Brooke putatively made her choice. She seized Nick's hand. But she was back in her hostel room, alone, the following day. She tried to make the utmost of her alone time by hearkening to music. Ridge knocked at her door, but she wasn't hearkening for him. Eric showed up at her door. He wasn't then to hash words. Eric told Brooke that he wanted her with his son. But he also knew that his son was a gorilla who loved to go back and forth between two women. After their discussion, Brooke got dressed and went for a walk in the megacity. She couldn't help but suppose of the harsh discussion she had with Ridge. All of a unforeseen, he tapped her on the shoulder. What's coming for these two? Taylor was on an important call when Katie walked by. She was pleased to see the top psychologist working from home. She demanded to check in with her and see how she was feeling about her relationship with Ridge. Katie couldn't stay to tell Taylor about Brooke and Ridge being in the most romantic megacity in the world, but Taylor felt secure about her relationship, at least that's what she was telling herself. She's holding out stopgap for when she gets to travel to Italy with Ridge. But will it ever be? Especially since he gets the hots for Brooke whenever they're in Rome together. Finn still had Liam's miraculous recovery on his brain. He participated his enterprises with Bridget, but she signed him off. Grace was still avoiding his calls and textbooks. She showed up at the office. Finn advised Grace that she's been called in for questioning. Will she eventually reveal the verity behind Liam's treatment and prognostic? Grace may be snaking her way out of hot water, and if this twist hits like we suppose it might, jaws will drop. Right now, the substantiation against Grace is mounting up briskly than Liam's neuroses. She helped orchestrate a horrifying con to move Liam. He was dying of a brain excrescence. Finn's formerly on the case, poking holes in Grace's perfect little medical phenomenon. And once that man starts connecting blotches, it's game over. Grace is running out of time, and if she doesn't come up with a gemstone solid explanation, she's going to be trading in her lab fleece for an orange jumpsuit. Grace didn't act alone. If this whole scheme was no way really hers to begin with. There's growing buzz that someone minatory might have been pulling the strings behind the scenes, someone with a once steeped in deception and baby-snatching Reese. Reese. The same man who faked Beth's death and vended her like a stolen handbag. Grace's partner has the moral compass of a villain in a late-night horror film, and let's not forget, he'll do anything for a payday. If Grace can prove she was constrained, the narrative shifts. She goes from being the villain to being the victim. Suddenly, she's not a frenetic croaker playing with Liam's life, she's a woman trapped in agony, doing what she had to do to survive.